Yeah, there's a love of San Francisco, and there's that almost blatant localism where it's like, I want to say like they deserve to be here, but really like they're the Bay Area team. They're the Golden State Warriors, and that's all about Bay Area love. So I'm really sad to see them leave Oakland. But where I do find a little bit of solace in it is the fact that they are getting a new stadium, and I really hope that stadium is above everybody's expectations.
That was bartender Pete Spanier. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco. Every week on this podcast, you'll hear from bartenders, business owners, artists, and other San Franciscans, telling stories and trying to answer the question, what is it about this place? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 12, Part 2. In Part 1, Pete talked about the differences between the San Francisco he moved to in the 90s and the city these days. In this podcast, he shares his opinions on the Warriors' move back to San Francisco, and he gives his predictions for the Giants and the Warriors this season. Here's Pete. What do you think about the Warriors coming back to SF?
The city of Oakland has shown the Warriors so much love for 40 plus years.
Through mostly thick. The team has not been good, mostly.
The team's had its ups and downs with a lot more low valley stuff, like bottom feeder of the NBA for a while, potential playoff teams getting blown up by fucking bitchy little fucking players, which probably helped lead to what they got for a setup now for a team, as far as getting rid of, having certain players leave and just revamping the thing. But I don't know, it's a real touchy subject. The Warriors, they deserve a new stadium.
Sure.
They're getting a new stadium, so there's nothing that can be done.
You can see it from the freeway now.
Well, you should be able to see it. If you're gonna build a stadium, it should be part of the skyline, one way or another. It's just part of that city ecology, 49ers, take note. Don't build your shit in Santa Clara.
Does any of it for you have to do with like they were in San Francisco first, and or your love of San Francisco?
Yeah, there's a love of San Francisco, and there's that almost blatant localism where it's like, I want to say like they deserve to be here, but really like they're the Bay Area team. They're the Golden State Warriors, and that's all about Bay Area love. So I'm really sad to see them leave Oakland. But where I do find a little bit of solace in it is the fact that they are getting a new stadium, and I really hope that stadium is above everybody's expectations. The thing I'm not looking forward to, and this is the big thing, is the fan base, the real fan base, the people from Oakland, the people from the Bay Area that love that team are now priced out for the most part. And all the fair weather fans that fill all the seats nowadays and make shit ridiculously expensive, they're the ones that are going to be buying those tickets. They're the first ones that are going to be like not sitting in their seats in a few years if the Golden State Warriors aren't doing good. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be inflated tickets. If the Golden State, when the Golden State Warriors end up hitting that rough patch and stop becoming a championship team, and stop becoming a perennial team, a team that makes it into the playoffs and stuff, they go back to how they were for 10 years plus, those same people are going to be the first ones to walk away.
Right.
And nobody remembers that even when the Warriors were one of the worst teams in the league, that was one of the hardest arenas to go in and play a game as an opposing team because it was the loudest. And you can go back there, and announcers say it all the time, like back in those days, like how loud the crowd was. And it was just, it's a cool thing, and that's what's really going to be missed.
Yeah.
About them not being in Oakland anymore. That and the fact that they're losing the real fan base, like the working class people that love the Warriors for being a working class team for so long.
Do you think that happened with the Giants?
Same thing happened with the Giants. Yeah.
It already happened.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think in my lifetime that I really actually might, it was totally conceivable. I was so used to being second, third place with the Giants for so long. It's like, okay, I'll probably never see them actually ever be in a World Series because LA spends too much money, or these other teams, these other markets really have like better minor league setup, better system setup, better owners setup, management, whatever. No offense to Bochy.
Were you stoked to see, though, when they moved to whatever it's called now? It was Pac Bell at the time.
Pac Bell Park.
Were you happy to see that? Like, did they move closer, or were you like Candlestick diehard, or?
Candlestick was a dinosaur, but it's the same thing. It's like you're seeing bits and pieces of San Francisco go away that are just iconic. And like Candlestick was iconic. Teams hated to come here because they were like, you fucking win, man. Like, we can't deal with this shit. And that went from baseball to football. Like, they just couldn't deal with the win. And it's something that, hey, man, that was all part of Candlestick Park. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium that they have now. Granted that. Not really fond of what the Niners did with their stadium. I don't think it's good looking. I don't like that stadium at all.
Well, they're not in San Francisco, so they're not part of this they're not in our jurisdiction of this podcast. So.
Yeah. Yes. That's true. They're not in our jurisdiction. Same could be said for the Patriots, but we're not talking East Coast crap right now.
No.
So, I mean, Pac Bell Park, I don't even know what they're calling it. We're just going to call it Pac Bell Park.
Sure.
The original name, Pac Bell Park.
Willie Mays Field at Pac Bell Park.
Willie Mays Field, the big old marijuana stadium. It's a nice park. It's convenient. By sizing down, now you have sellout crowds. That means a lot in sports, having a sellout crowd. And I'm using air quotes on that for games and stuff like that. So it's easier to fill the stadium. Mm-hmm. And it's convenient-ish. I'd sure hate to drive down there and park and go see a game and stuff like that. Right. It's way easier just to roll a couple of joints and stop by a bar, have a drink, walk a quarter of the way there, swing into another bar, have a drink, finally get to the stadium. That's the best way to do it in my book.
A routine.
It makes it easier and laugh at people in traffic, but
sure,
it's all right. But the main thing is with going back to the Warriors in that stadium, it's like they're losing a lot with the original fan base and the real fan base, the people that care about them the most. That's the thing that gets me about them moving. I just hope the stadium's great.
Any thoughts on like what the stadium's gonna do to that area? And like a lot of people are like,
fuck up the parking.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like there's two hospitals.
It's gonna fuck up the parking. Well, I'm sure the hospital already has their. They bought the property from the hospital. Did some of it?
I think the Benioff gave it to them.
What gave it to him? That was nice.
Yeah, he's a really nice man.
Look, one of the things hospitals do when they build all their stuff is they build parking. What it's going to do is really going to screw up the traffic. It's going to screw up street parking around there. That really ain't saying anything for the most part, except for that. That's one of the areas that's being developed in San Francisco for living. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, it's pretty industrial and pretty wide open out there. You can get into some real sketchy shit back in those days in that neighborhood. And now it's, it's close to Hunter's Point. Big deal. It's just close. Everything's close in San Francisco. It's really going to just screw with the traffic and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the baseball and basketball overlaps.
At the same time, yeah.
At the same time. Because they both have games,
April into June at the very least.
Yeah. Very least. June. We're talking about the Dubs. And it's not like they're not going to be a playoff team for the next couple of years.
Any predictions for the Giants in 2019?
Giants got a lot of work to do. That's all I see. Giants got a lot of work to do, and I think a lot of it is they need to develop their minor league again and get back what they lost from when they started their championship run and were selling new players to keep the core stars intact.
Yeah.
They got rid of too many, in my personal opinion. But, hey, if my opinion counted, then they would hire me as a consultant, and I'd be making a lot more money than I am now.
And then how about we're kind of mid-season-ish for basketball. Warriors are on a tear right now.
Yeah.
Any predictions or feelings? How
Warriors, same prediction I made at the beginning of the year. It's just like Warriors are going to the playoffs. Warriors are the team to beat. All you naysayers right after KD and gotten a little tipped with Green and words were said, and it's like, oh, the team, and Steph not performing, and everybody that always talks shit about fucking Klay Thompson when he's not dropping baskets. You're always just like, what's wrong with Klay? What's wrong with Klay? He's still a defensive genius, and he's completely stifling the other team's fucking offense. So don't worry about Klay. Don't even worry about them. We're all good. They're gonna win it again. And that's that. It's the league versus the Golden State Warriors.
And then, of course, now they added DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins
Just
finally got activated. That really screws everybody up.
Yeah.
He takes away the paint from other teams. He's too big to shove around effectively. And as soon as he steps out into three-point land, he opens up the paint for the rest of the team because he can drop those threes. It's a good mix. We'll see how long Boogie can keep it up. And if he can keep himself from getting any injuries, this is going to be a really interesting season. And I truly do believe it's been like that for a couple of years, but right now it literally is the league versus the Golden State Warriors. Good luck, Bron.
That was bartender Pete Spanier. Check back next week when you'll hear from Heather Jacks, who's written a book about the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Music for the podcast is by Otis McDonald. Film photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on everything we do. All past episodes are up on our website, storiedsf.com, and wherever you listen to podcasts. If that happens to be Apple Podcasts and you have a minute to spare, please rate and review the show for us. Send comments or suggestions to storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.